Good morning. Uh, just want to come to y'all, talk to y'all for a minute. Something that I noticed about myself that was wrong, extremely wrong, and I've been noticing for a while, but been hoping that, God would help me through it and, help my loved ones through it too, and y'all as well. This will be my last video until I can get back into the presence of the Lord. It's wrong. Not saying that people can't use people when they fighting in battle, because he can. He has used me back in the past at times when I was down in the pit, battling, fighting like crazy, and giving me some of the biggest revelation and guided me through some of the biggest stuff. But back then I had a prayer life. I was praying anywhere from 3 to 7 times a day, and basically praised him all day long. So it was a big difference. And I'm not there in that way anymore. And some of the things that I used to easily just shake off and just walk away from, and just look at it and just I'm not doing it anymore. I want to read Matthew chapter 24 verse 10, and then I just want to talk about what happened yesterday and where I'm at and things that I'm seeing. God hasn't told me to get on here. It's just me having the feeling that I need to get on here to warn y'all of what I'm seeing, and I've been seeing it a lot. So yesterday shouldn't have happened with me, but I have to realize, that the Holy Spirit ain't flowing through me in the way that it used to be. The God coming sometime he'll touch me and guide me, but it's not flowing in the way that it used to be. A lot of people go around telling a lie, I'm Holy Ghost filled and this, that, and the other. And there's some that are, but a lot of people are saying that it's not. In the same predicament that I'm in, and I'm just glad that I'm not in the denial stage to where I'm, going around saying that, knowing that I'm not, knowing that I need help. I've been hollering this out for a long time, so I know the Lord hear me. He has answered me at times when I've been shot in the side of the head and bullets was coming and hitting the walls, and the guy had a whole drum. And this drum had to hold anywhere from 60 to 120 bullets in it. And then another bullet hit me, and I got like 3-4 times like that. Where I've been caught up in episodes where I should have been done in. Then other times when I should have been done in. And, and calling out to him, and he answered just like that. So I know that he hears, I don't know what it is that he wants me to learn, and I'm not going to ever get caught up in all y'all is talking about passing the tests, and it's a test and all. God don't test you. For any of us to say that God tests us is to call God a lie. Because God says this right here. Isaiah 46 and 10. So, and it's probably why I've never gotten to be with certain men and women of God, or certain men and women of God have never tried to help me, because a lot of them that I wished would reach out to me, they believe that God tests you. I don't. I believe that was God, with them saying that God called Abraham up to the mountain to sacrifice Isaac. I believe there's a whole nother revelation of things there that a lot of people are not paying attention to, that I'm not qualified to teach on or to explain. But I want you, this Bible verse right here, Isaiah 46 and 10. Isaiah 46 and 10 says, declaring the end from the beginning. Declared the end from the beginning, and from ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying my counsel should stand, and I will do all my pleasure. Now, God talking about in Ecclesiastes 2 through Solomon about ain't nothing new under the sun. All has all been done before. But here, God said, he declares the end. He said, I declare the end from the beginning. So God is making it known that he knows the end, and he reveals this to in Revelation. That he knows the end. He reveals this too that in the book of Ezekiel that he knows the end. He reveals this in the book of Isaiah that he knows the end. He reveals this in Zechariah that he knows the end. God knows all. He has no reason to test us. That's another lie that we have allowed to filter in the church to give Satan another way to be able to get away with things. That's literally saying that God doesn't know. Literally saying that God doesn't know. Now I'm going to read this verse, Matthew chapter 24, verse 10. It say, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. So it's basically revealing that the love will go cold in many. And many things will offend and whatnot. And yesterday, when this happened, I should have won that battle. I've been battling with the spirit of Jezebel since God saved me, and even before I got aware of it. But it's been a real battle for me for these last 17 years. I know the signs. I know how the spirit operates. But I let the spirit get the best of me in a way to let me know that I truly need deliverance in a powerful way. And that those that I've been trying to help, I can't help them because I can't help myself. Because I can't help myself. It was a church that I was just going to, that I had stopped going to, and I told the leader of the church, I said, man, I like what y'all got going on here. And I'm talking about this pastor, he sang to God, he praised the Lord, and he preached that word with thunder. But I realized after going there a few months that they couldn't help me and I couldn't be of a help to them. So I told them, I said, I realized that I can't be of a help to y'all and y'all can't help me. Because every day I was going, there was a fight, there's a battle, there's a battle, there's a fight. And when the power of God is in a place and God is willing to let that power take and help you, God, the help will be there. To bind these spirits and help deal with it. I've experienced that, so I know that. And I know the word. And the whole time I'm going to other church, I'm sitting and I'm reading 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. In 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33, it clearly states this. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33. And I'm going to talk about what I got to talk about. I'm going to get off because this is going to be my 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33 says this. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all the churches of the saints. So I'm sitting here in a church, and I'm reading this over and over again, reading God's word over and over again, and talking to the Lord, saying, you're not the author, but the fighting and the confusion constantly went on. This in a well-known big church that's supposed to be established. Not only one, but few of them. And I'm sitting there like, okay, I know that God's word is real and it got power. Why ain't this word manifest? I put it to you like this. It used to be a time back in the day when I used to go to Hartford Memorial Baptist Church, and I would holler out to God, like, Lord, this ain't right. I need your help. And I could talk to the Lord for a little while, and the battle and stuff, it would cease. It was shut down. Completely shut down. And this is back when Pastor Adam was a pastor. It showed that the person that was there had an ear to hear what God was saying, and shown that the power and authority was working within the atmosphere of that church. That's what that showed. Not once, but a few times, okay? I say at least a minimum of 5 times and maybe all the way up to 15 times that I went there and asked God to help put a stop to something and it cease. So you can't tell me. And even one time I went to Bishop P.A. Brooks Church, and I was battling and fighting, and Bishop P.A. Brooks just calmed me and settled it and said with a calm and a mature voice with authority. He sat back and he said, if you take and you pick the little fruit that's on the tree off of it, before the fruit becomes ripe and the tree bear more fruit, then you destroy the tree or something like that. Long old words he said. And when he said that, everything is shut down. All the battle and fighting and everything was like, when he spoke that about it, he gave what he was speaking on about the tree bearing fruit and some of the fruit on the tree trying to come into ripeness so it can be eaten and given a chance the tree to take and fill out and bear fruit everywhere. He was basically saying that they was destroying the tree before the tree had a chance to manifest what was on. And when he said that, everything that was going on with me in the spirit realm, battling with the stuff that was going on, it ceased. And this was after I called out to the Lord, like, Lord, I need your help. This ain't right. I know you're here. So when you're in places where you're constantly battling and fighting like that, and God's not answering you, I'm not saying that he always doing it. Sometimes he'll let you experience some. Sometimes he will let you experience them. But he's not going to let you fight and battle all the time. I went to this place for almost 3 months. Almost every week. And I'm talking about the man got fired. And he praises the mess out of the Lord. And I went to a couple other places. I ain't going to put no name. I named those 2 churches to give y'all an example of how they had men and women of God that were sitting in seats of authority that had power, knew how to take and speak out, knew how to take and do things, and knew how to get things to cease in the spirit realm. And that's what's missing in a lot of these churches. That kind of power and authority. Now, yesterday, I failed. And I kind of failed a while back, but I really, really failed yesterday in a powerful way because, the thing that happened on my birthday, that we did on my birthday that Sunday turned out beautifully. You know what I mean? And I was really looking forward to this thing. I've been looking more and more for more gatherings of our family to get together and love on one another and hug one another, spend time with one another, because life is short. And I've been coming to realize this more and more as things been happening with me, and I've been seeing things too. Because, I messed around and got real sick right after me and my brother was talking about the same thing. Got sick, didn't even know I was walking around with walking no more. And then after I thought I was okay, I started getting sick again. And then even yesterday, while we was out at the gathering, I was walking around throwing up. And then it got better to where I was able to take and be of some help to what was taking place. But in the process of being of some help and what was taking place, other things began to happen. But what I noticed is that in an environment like that where it's supposed to be nothing but love that's supposed to be flowing and us appreciating and being in the midst of one another, that spirit that comes into the church to destroy the church also be working in family events and events doing these things too, and that's the spirit of Jezebel. Jezebel comes where I got a big old book out there in the car. It's almost 600 pages, and it talks about bitterness and all that. But the spirit of Jezebel comes with bitterness, which is unforgiveness, and it holds on to things. Comes with anger, comes with control, manipulation. And I know this. I know this real good. But I lost the battle to the spirit last night in such a powerful way, because I know taking and smacking someone or jumping on someone ain't going to defeat that spirit. It's a spiritual battle. Just like what come to me today, start reading Ephesians chapter 6 and read the whole book of Ephesians, but go backwards. I got to reading and I was like, okay, I know what's here. And I got to verse 6 and I didn't even want to go no further. Because I know, and I know I was wrong, but that spirit, I hate that spirit with such a passion, I can't begin to describe it. When I say that the spirit, the way that it affects me, because I know how the spirit destroys lives and destroys families, it affects me in a real bad way, because I can see the spirit, but I don't know how to walk away at certain times. I don't know how to just don't say nothing. You know, and sometimes when you battle with that spirit, it's time to speak it out, and then sometimes it's time to say nothing and just walk away. And last night was one of them times where you need to speak, but you needed to speak in a voice of love and not anger. And I spoke in a voice of anger, because I seen what the spirit was trying to do. It was trying to come against our love and us coming together to have a good time. And I've seen this over and over and over and over in different situations. And I'm seeing it even more and more in gathering events where people come together, just trying to have a good time and love on one another, and things are happening. But people are easily offended, and simpler stuff has caused people to go off. You know what I mean? And that's when the thing that Pastor Grant used to always say, said, be careful that you don't let what's in them get in you. He used to always say this. You know, church that I used to be a part of, you know, the pastor always said, be careful that you don't let what's in them get in you. And I know that. I also know, and a lot of people say the spirits don't do that, but they're lying to y'all. Spirits can leap from off of one person to another person if a door is open. And sometimes, a spirit can even take and do it if a door is not open. Meaning it can leap off, and even though the spirit is up on you, can't enter in you. I done had this battle many a time where I done felt spirits up on me trying to get in, but they couldn't. And the power of the Holy Spirit used to rise up and kick the spirits right up off me. Y'all done heard me talk about this before, where I used to see the spirits outside the body, and spirits used to be trying to get in and couldn't get in. That's when I was walking full of the Holy Spirit. So I've had these I'm not speaking to y'all about something that somebody has spoken to me about. I'm speaking to y'all about things that I have experienced. Okay? I've experienced this. It's a lot of things that they're saying to y'all that's not true. It's not true. I'm not calling the Bible a lie. I'm telling y'all to seek God so y'all can find out that God was not testing Abraham. Read that and ask God to reveal to y'all what it is that was really going on. Ask him. I'm not going to tell you. Ask him. Seek him for yourself. That's what Ezekiel chapter 8 is about. God want to have a relationship with y'all for himself. He loves y'all just like he loved me. And he going to let me experience this whooping in a real good way, because I realized yesterday the thing that I want and I desire so much. I let the spirit come in last night and just wipe out what had happened that night, when all I had to do was get up and walk away and not feed over to it. Spirit caught me when I was tired. And I'm not using that as an excuse, but this is how the spirit operates. So you have to be careful when you're tired. You have to be careful when you're sitting there basking in the beautiful thing that just happened. Because that's what I was doing. I was sitting around it, and the mosquitoes and stuff was eating us up, and everybody was talking about the mosquitoes and how the mosquitoes was eating us up. And then one person had to sit up and said, this was nice. You pulled it off. And it was giving a compliment to my sister / cousin, and it was just, conversation was, was joyful, and we had a nice time, even though things got off slowly. It ended up just like the person said, turning out nice. And then from out of nowhere, the Spirit spoke up about something that happened that had passed. We had to be careful of that, of things that happened but passed. And we had to look at the thing that happened but passed and what happened after that thing passed. After that thing passed, everything started going good. And that's what you have to look at. And I was basking in that. We was basking in that. And the Spirit roared up and said, okay, I'm getting ready to take all this joy. And I know how to get him. Him I know how to get. I'm going to show myself. And I know he hate me. And that's what the Spirit did to me. It showed itself. And when I went to telling somebody that it was a demon, say, all you talk about is demons. But I battled with the Spirit alone. The spirit of pride, the Jezebel spirit, and the spirit of bitterness, all those spirits are when I battle with them long enough to know those spirits. And most of the stuff is a battle with, with principalities in high places. It's not with flesh and blood. A lot of our battles have to do with demons and spirits. They're all around us. And most of the ones that they're in limbo. They bound here. No one wants to touch and talk about the first creation and the fall of angels. No one wants to talk about that. A lot of those spirits are bound here. And they tell my spirit out of bodies illegal and all that. Okay. I'm not going to argue with you. How do portals open up and things come in? How do spirits be walking in houses? How do people be having all these battles with a lot of these spirits are bound here? Okay, I don't have that gift of really explaining things real good like a lot of men and women of God do. And that's another reason why I'm going to back up. It's not because I don't love God or don't want to teach Him. The battle that I lost last night lets me know that until I conquer this spirit right here, I really shouldn't be on here constantly saying, okay, God revealing this to me. Not saying that God ain't talking to me, because there's some things that was revealed to me the other day I'm finding out wasn't God. And I'm glad I didn't get on here and say nothing. Or as of right now, because of what's happening, it don't look like it was God. Okay? And then some things that was revealed to me, it definitely looking like it was God. Okay? So, that try to spirit by the spirit, I'm using it, but I'm not using it on nobody but myself. Because I don't believe that we should go around testing one another. I believe that we should go around helping one another to be better. A lot of people want to go around testing. Ain't nobody teaching. Ain't nobody guiding. How can you keep on testing people when people don't want to? I had people testing me about certain stuff that I didn't have the slightest idea to even exist. How is that helping me? So anyway, let me get back to this because I'm getting ready to get up off of here. But I failed a big test yesterday. I was wrong. All the way, even though the Spirit did what it did and the Spirit was wrong for Adam, I know better. I know the Spirit come at you when you're tired. I know the Spirit coming at you when you're basking in something that was beautiful and they want to take that away. I know how the Spirit operates. I know how it operates. And I know that the spirit usually surfaces once people get those other spirits in them. You know what I'm talking about drinking. I know this. I know all of this. I'm an ex-addict. I used to get blown out of my mind to certain times. I couldn't really be around people unless I was high too. So I know how that goes. But to all y'all that's trying to enjoy your family, you know what I mean? It's going to be some people there that's going to have shortcomings. There's going to be some people there that's going to really be there to try to usher in the love and embrace that they want the family to have and enjoyment and whatnot. So the enemy is always looking to infiltrate that, to steal the beauty of that, the beautiful moment of that, the love of that. The enemy is always looking to take that away. So I'm just going to say to y'all, when you were with your family gathering together, when you see that the enemy is operating and is getting up on it, take a step back, even walk away. Don't be quick to respond if you ain't got yourself under control. If you know that it's something that you hate, walk away. Walk away, because you're not going to handle it right. Walk away. Listen to what I'm saying. Walk away. Last night, that spirit knows I hate it. I hate the spirit with a passion. The spirit of Jezebel, I can't stand the spirit. I see how the spirit destroyed my life. I see how the spirit has destroyed other people in my family life and other people that I know. I know how that spirit is. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. So me knowing this and knowing how I was still in the joy that was finally there, because I was enjoying this sitting back at the fire, stirring the fire, looking at everybody, joining everybody, just seeing how beautiful that was. I was getting enjoyment out of it. Something a couple of decades ago wouldn't have never been there. Wouldn't have never been there. I was able to see things out of these natural eyes in a whole different way. A couple of decades ago, that wouldn't have never happened. Seeing beauty all around, people enjoying themselves, playing, talking, having fun, these nephews, you know what I mean? And I know that the spirit is always trying to get to me. I know this. So when I seen that right there, and that got to happen, I was supposed to get up and walk away. So what I'm saying to y'all, when you know there's something really disturb you and you're in a thing which is, why should I listen to you? You know, because I don't want you to make the same mistake I made. That's what I'm saying this to you. And I'm telling you that the spirit is at the love of many. And the Bible is saying many love will go wax cold. Many will be offending one another. The simplest thing. That was simple. Something that shouldn't have been brought up. And when it was brought up, I should have got up and walked away. Because I know I hate that spirit. When I say I hate it, man. I hate that spirit because the spirit is destructive. There's no good in that spirit. And it takes the whole of good people. And that's what I noticed the most. People that's really anointed, I'm talking extremely anointed, that spirit takes hold of, and good people. It gets in them, it gets in through a crack of something that happened to them that made them bitter, and then that bitterness just opened up the doors wide to that spirit. That's how it got in me. Through bitterness of things that happened to me when I was young. And I'm always being careful of, but that's one of the biggest ways that the spirit of Jezebel get in. And they usually get in to young boys and girls when they're young and they begin to fester. Okay? But say this again, I'm finna get ready to get off of here. You know, God is love. And God wanted family. That's why he created a man and a woman. That's why he created the man. Then he created the man a helpmate to help the man to do the things that God wanted to be done. I heard somebody say something that made a lot of sense to me. And they said, if we really stop and think about it, who was Adam? I wish I could remember this person's name. It was a woman. When she said yes, it was a woman. And then when she said, I said, yep, that's true. She said, if we stop and think about who was who was Adam's first helpmate? It was God. It was God. So we stop and we think about it. Who did God give that title to? He gave that title to a woman. So here it is. God put himself in flush into something that man can love and man and woman can take and procreate. He said, go forth, replenish, subdue, and have dominion over. But we took everything off course by men and women not being together, women and women being together, men and women, messing up the whole cycle of what God said. The whole cycle, and we think that God's going to honor it. He's not. He's not. I wasn't going to say anything about this. And I didn't catch it, but I had played a couple of them. I'm guilty. And not sorry for it at all. And a lot of so-called self-righteous people, oh, he just done it, he promoting a lot. I ain't promoting nothing. I'm telling you what I did. What I did. But I'm going to tell y'all something. 26, I counted it yesterday, 26 of the numbers that come out from the 27th of last month of July all the way up to yesterday came from out of them last two videos that I posted. The videos that had to do with Genesis chapter 19, verse 1 to 15, or Genesis chapter 3, verse 1 to 15. Numbers come from out of that. 26 of them. It ain't even been 26 days that the passed. That's over 100%. Letting us know, I'm not saying that he's telling nobody to go play the lottery, but it's letting us know he can bless us anytime he wants to. And I just want to speak on one of the numbers that came out. I'm getting ready to get off here. Let's go to Genesis chapter 19. Verse 3, and just read this, and I'm gonna get off at Genesis chapter 19, verse 3. Look what Genesis chapter 19, verse 3 says. Genesis chapter 19, verse 3 says, and he pressed up on them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. Who is he talking about? Now, this right here, 19th chapter, 3rd verse, 193, come out straight. Go back. If you go back, you see the date that I started talking about, and you come up and you can find the numbers and what I did. But let's go one up and one down, see who it is he's talking about. Verse 2, and he said, behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your way. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the streets all night. That's verse 2. Now verse 3. And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in upon him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. Verse 4, one up, one down. But before they laid down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. Now we know what come out of that. Go and read it for yourself. But they wanted to have a sexual relationship with the angels. These was angels. Their Lot was putting them on, asking to come and break bread with him. And the people of the city, because they were so wicked and so evil, they wanted to do foul and evil things to the angels that's present. These angels are showing up, and many people are offending them. Many people are offending them. And we know how the story went after this. They end up destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay? The love that was there in Sodom and Gomorrah was a lustful love. It wasn't a love, it was a lustful love, a love of Satan. And that's the love that's really flowing right now in this country. Not saying that you don't have some people that got God's love in it, because you do. You know, it's times when God's love just swells up in me, and then, like last night, I let it be taken away. I've been sick early that day, sick, y'all. You know, but God made it was all right for me taking him. Then I was able to take him baths in something that was beautiful, and then it was taken away. My love level was rising. I was, you know, glad to take and do anything to assist to see this go good. You know, that was the mood that I was in, and then the Spirit showed up and took it away. That spirit is another spirit that you can see that's linked to Sodom and Gomorrah. Because we know Jezebel is also a lustful, controlling spirit. Do research on it. You're going to find lust linked to that spirit too. I'm going to go on and get up over here, but be careful. Be careful. He's been at it since the beginning, since all the fall of man. He's been at it, our love, since then, but it didn't increase. Everything is increasing. And he's coming at family in a way like never before, because he wanted to say to the Lord, look, they weren't going to never honor and respect what it was that you created with them. Look, you made a mistake. He still wants to take and prove that, and he can't prove it if we take and stand up and do what's right. When we spot certain things, if we handle in the right way, or we can't handle, we walk away from it. And that's why I got to get certain things I just got to walk away from. And two, I can hate that spirit and stand up to that spirit and talk to that spirit in a calm way to let the spirit know, I know you. And that's what I was supposed to do last night. Because it was a demon that was present in the midst of a beautiful moment. Don't let Satan come in and destroy y'all love for one another. Because these two people I love, I heard something about them. But the spirit, once the spirit took a ride, just everything in me went out the door. Went out the door because I seen what was going on, and I didn't handle it the right way. And I really feel that the spirit is doing this more and more and more and more and more to keep people that's having family events and gatherings, trying to get their people to come in, to keep them separated. To keep them not enjoying one another, not wanting to take and do it right. And a lot of times it happens either at the beginning of it or the end of it. Once the spirit realized it can't stop. See, yesterday the spirit tried to take and mash everything at the beginning of this twice. And I reflect back on it. Twice it tried to disrupt and make things bad. And I ain't even talking about one of the times when I started getting sick and sick. I ain't talking about two other things that happened to show how the enemy was trying to disrupt, and the enemy couldn't do it. So the enemy had already set it up. Okay, I'm gonna use this in the end. Y'all have to watch out for that. And people in y'all family that y'all know that seek God and pray and truly want to be, those people y'all start protecting. Because they the ones that's trying to hear what God's saying. They the ones that's trying to get this to going to that way where God is opening up the door so the family should be protected toward what's coming. Because there's some stuff that's getting ready to come. That if people ain't got a relationship with God, they're going to find themselves in trouble, man. I'm finding this stuff in this Bible that still got to happen. God still got to pull his spirit out upon all our sons and daughters. And he told me the other day he's going to do that. But he also told me again to be careful of false revivals. He's making me aware of that. So that stuff like this Kundalini spirit and all the rest of that. Now I'm having a battle with that spirit too. And it's in a lot of churches. So the bottom line is, just be careful, y'all. Don't make the mistake I made, you know. He's coming after love in even a more powerful way than ever before. And, you know, disruption, okay, of family things, family gatherings. Y'all get together before you get going off this thing. Pray before you really get to starting and doing it. That everything that the enemy trying to do, that you bind up, and it come from the heart when you're doing it. God honors that. You know, and like I say, it be my last video. You know, unless the Lord is just making it where I can't get up off the floor, or something just weighing me down where I got to get on here because, you know, that shouldn't happen. I know that spirit. And I know I need to be back in His presence. So do y'all. So do y'all. Because there's a lot of people that's in these churches and authority don't give up about y'all. I call myself, oh my God, they don't. And then the ones that do, y'all don't want to hear what they got to say, and they're just trying to tell y'all the truth. God is love. And where you don't find love, real love, that lines up with the first 4 chapters of this Bible, learn God's 8 characters. You'll find it from Genesis chapter 1 to Genesis chapter 4. Learn it. Read it over and over and over again. Learn His character. Because everything that you see that don't line up with His character, you know ain't Him. Everybody wondering why it's taking so long for God to do certain things, including me, and He had already revealed to me how He is. It took Him 1,000 years almost to punish Adam, and we don't know how long it took for Eve, because there ain't no date on when she left. She probably didn't happen to her till the day of the flood. We don't know, but almost 930 years for Adam. So we know that He's slow about certain things. Certain people He didn't have me warned since 2015, and they judgment just not coming up on them right now. And I hope that they listen, because I believe that was from God. I do. And I hope y'all listen to me about this love thing. You know, that ain't got love in it. I ain't saying run, but get up out of it, man. God is love. And you want to be in that kind of circle. You want to be in that kind of atmosphere. Anything that got the gospel about somebody, or talk about somebody and put them down, or how you looking side eyes, somebody get up out of it. It ain't God. Will God have you tell the truth about some things? Yes, He will. But God is love. Will God punish? Yes, He will. Adam 930 years, I always refer back to the first 4 chapters of how he did things. Cain, look at Cain. Cain murdered his brother, but it took a while for God to punish. But when He did, He punished that whole line. And that's what Donald Trump got to be careful of. His whole line being punished. Because what I done found linking Isaiah chapter 7 and Jeremiah chapter 7 up together along with other stuff is out there. Anyway, I love y'all. Satan coming after y'all love. Family is important. And this person that this spirit keep on using against me, this spirit know that I love this person. This person been there for me more than anybody. But yesterday I wanted to destroy that spirit. That's how angry I got. And I wanted to do it in a physical way. And you can't destroy one of those spirits. Like, it don't work like that. I know that. But that's how upset I got yesterday. because of what happened. It was something that had already happened. It was over with. And that's how the Spirit works, y'all. So be careful when y'all sitting around, y'all basking. So when somebody get to taking and bringing up something that didn't happen, that's over with, that wasn't about nothing, y'all know this is the Spirit that's working that ain't right. It's the Spirit that's working that ain't right. Not saying that somebody can't bring up something that was wrong and they talk about how it could have been better corrected when they have all the facts. Just be careful coming after the love in a powerful way more than ever. He's been at it since the beginning, but he's really coming at it in a strong way. And I'm seeing this over and over and over again, seeing that so many things ain't got no love in it no more. I'm gone, y'all. I don't know what else to say, I love you. I truly do. I wish the best for everybody. I wish that we can understand. I wish that we can get in places where there's real true teachers that's going to teach the truth. I wish all of this, man. I wish that y'all would just get a relationship. Just Genesis chapter 1, 2, 3, 4. Just read it over and over and over again. Ask the Lord to let it talk to you. Ask the Lord to point out his character that's there. What this really means. Right there. Start right there. In the very beginning. Because one thing for sure, God ain't gonna never change how he was from the beginning. Remember that. Have a blessed day.